Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there, so you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and my voice is being weird. And we are here to discuss the part 1 tell-all for Hunt for Love. That is what we're here to do. Before we do, let's just do a little stuff on top of the episode. Number 1, no hot goss for this episode. Number 2, if you are interested in the true crime documentary recap episode that is on Patreon, this month's is going to be the Zodiac one that was on Netflix. So that is what's going to be there. You can look out for the sneak peek that will be on the main feed. It's usually, I think those are multiple episodes. I think it's a docu-series. So it will be the first episode only. The rest will be on Patreon. And again, you can get that at patreon.com/realityt times 2. Links in the show notes. I believe you should be getting that towards the middle of the month. Also for Jersey Shore, don't worry, I have not forgotten. I do have an episode, I believe, that will be released. At this point, it will be released next Thursday. I believe I have an episode ready to go. Pretty sure. Anyways, so that will be there. What else do we have? Next piece of news on the top of the episode. This is audio only episode. There is no video for this one. So it will be just on the main feed. So I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be discussed on top of the episode. So we'll be jumping in now to tell part 1. All right, y'all. I think we kind of knew this was going to be happening. And what I do want to say with this is, Sean is gone. Sean is gone. I think she is not coming back. She's probably retired. Because let's not forget, she's like in her 60s. So I do want to say we have been watching Sean for the better part of this. I believe she wasn't the original host of the tell all, but she's been a part of this since like the second season, I believe, of 90 Day. She'll be missed for me. I know everyone has their views on Sean, but she's a staple of this, and we've had her for many, many, many seasons. She, like I said, I think will be missed. Suki is here to replace her. If you've watched, Sister Wives, the one-on-one thing that they do, that is the person who does that. And I know people were a little bit on the fence of like, oh, well, if it's anything like how it is with Sister Wives, it's not going to be any good. I need to say on the top of this was the best tell all in a long, long time. It really felt like she was getting down to the nitty gritty, asking the questions that we all want answered. It was great. Yeah, maybe she had Barbara screaming in her ear, but I thought she was great. I think it was hard to compare Suki's performances in the Sister Wives um, one-on-one thing because that family is probably like, I want to answer this, I want to answer this, I want to answer that. Nope, not talking about that. Like, especially Cody. Cody is a force because he's a narcissist and everything has to go his way. So this was going to be a very different feel. And I thought you did great. All right. So let's get into, the main part of all of this. Colt is doing tarot. Colt is doing tarot. Listen, there's only one person in the 90-day universe who is allowed to do the tarot, and that is Ashley. I don't see Ashley here. Why are we doing this? Anyways, so we have Elise and Cole here. They're going to be the main randoms part of this. We are going to have other randoms here, or maybe just one other random here, but Cole and Elise are here, so this is going to be fun. Tim has his smoothing stone, like the little roly thing. He says he likes to use that for under the eyes. Like if everyone asks me about my skin and they want tips about it, do you want to know? This is what I do. That's it. This is the stone. I had a discussion about this with my mother. Apparently, it's going to be probably very beneficial. Do you know what, Tim? If anything, you maybe want to go buy one of those stones, roly things. Thank you. Courtney and Elise apparently became pretty close, and we kind of saw that in the show. They became pretty close. Um, so yeah, they're close friends, and more on that later. When we go into the green room, or I hate calling it a green room because it's like blue, but my brain can never compute. I know a green room has nothing to do with the color of the room in today's day and age. I'm sure, like once upon a time, the start of green rooms, it was green, but my brain can't compute when I say green room and it's not green. Anyways, when we go into the green room, Cole barely acknowledges Rob. He says, hi, hi, Chantel, hi, hi. Ooh. He just completely ignores the fact that Rob is here. But you know what? What we're about to see here is Rob's going to be a person who has his back. Who knew? Anyway, Tim looks like a vampire. He kind of looks like, I don't know. What's that one, Queen of the Damned, one that was with Aaliyah? Kind of gives me that. Like he kind of fits in there a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he's not cool enough. But anyways, he kind of has that look. Elise's dress. I'm going to be talking about people's looks here, except for kind of already talked about Tim. He looks fine. It's whatever. I'll kind of get into everyone's looks when we kind of get on stage. But Elise has a wardrobe malfunction. This dress that she's wearing, it's barely holding her in, and her nip just popped right out of her dress. And she had to go put some more tape on. I don't know if she didn't put enough tape on before or if she forgot the tape. But when you're wearing a dress like that, honey, you gotta get the boob tape. Yeah, got the boob tape, make sure everything stays where it needs to be. Anyways, with that, we go on to set. Now I'm going to talk about everyone's looks. Hopefully, I don't forget anybody, but we're going to I'm going to talk mainly about the women's look because, men are, obsessed with him. Everyone's just going to be, whatever. So I'm going to talk about the women here on set first. Then we'll talk about Jasmine. Jasmine. Jesus, Jen. Okay. I, I didn't mind Tiffany's dress. I think the biggest thing for me was the feathers. I I didn't like the feathers personally. Um, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't for me. I didn't like the blue. I feel like it could have been a different color. Like a different color would have suited her more than this like somewhat baby blue, but not quite baby blue. I didn't really like that. I thought Chantel looked great. Yes, her dress was heavy, she said, but I thought she looked great. The slit was great. The boobs were out. She looked great. Um, I thought Elisa's dress was great too. Um, she looked great in it. Like, if I had a body like that, she looked great in it. So no issues with her look. Who else did we have here? Um, all the women did we have besides Tiffany, Chantel, Elise? I'm saving the best for last, y'all. Um, who else did we have? Talked to him already. Colty looked, whatever, but it's fine. Um, yeah, I think I've covered everybody there. So let me get into everybody else. Corny. Corny. I love her. Though she's gonna piss me off in this tell all, but I love her. What was she wearing? That dress was hideous. The tights combo, horrific. It just, this is the first time she's on a tell all since her original season. This was not good. Not good. Jen, I mean, we didn't see all of Jen's look, mind you. But the thing that we did see that I have questions about, what was that thing on her neck? Was she having a hickey? What was she doing? Was it a mic? I'm so confused. I thought it looked absolutely ridiculous. It looked ridiculous, but whatever. Anyways, let's get into everything here. So Jen and Cole are still together. I'm shocked. I thought for sure they would have broken up. I don't understand how they're still together, but they are. This one says, um, about, because we kind of go into Colts and Courtney, and they're still together. And Usman says, like, I don't get it. I was chasing her. And then I think Tim was like, said something, or yeah, Tim did say something. He said something around the lines of like, I'm happy that Colt got her. It's kind of like, the bully being knocked down a few pegs kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, Usman just starts like yelling, Tim is fake. Tim is fake. He's a fake friend. And we're like, what the hell? So here's the deal. And I can't believe I'm repeating this because this is so stupid. He says, so we followed each other before, I guess, meeting each other. But Tim unfollowed um, Usman and then blocked him, apparently. At Tulum, Usman says that he asked Tim about it. And I guess Tim was like, oh, okay. And followed him again. He then says um, that he blocked me again after leaving Tulum. So wait, all of this for social media? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm around the same age as Usman. And I know, like, yeah, some people, social media is life. Fine. Do we have anything else better to do? And again, look, when you have like multitude of different people who you're following, whatever. How are you like, how do you have time in your day? Because I don't know how many people he follows. I don't even follow him myself, so I don't care. But, like, I don't know how many people Usman follows, but let's just say 200 people. Let's just put a number out there, say he follows about 200 people. Are you really trying to tell me that you're going through your list of who you follow to find out that you're unfollowed or he unfollowed you and then blocked you? Like, you're really putting your effort into that. It seems ridiculous to me. Um, Tim explains, listen, there's no ill will. I was basically, you know, cleaning people off of my socials so that I can actually see like the posts of my actual friends. Two things. Number one, you didn't make the cut because you don't give a shit about me. Is basically what he says. Like you don't interact with me, so you don't make the cut. Number two, you're not my actual friend, so that's why you got cut. Damn. But again, I don't blame him. Who cares though at the end of the day? And like if he blocks you, unblocks you, friends, like who really cares? So he says, you know, you could have like come to me and said something to me. Instead, you post this thing about how Tim is fake and, you cause a scene. He's like, that to me is like a pussy move. It's a bitch move. And listen, like, I'm not a pussy. You're a pussy. Like, what you did was pussy. And it's like, what is this? We're literally fighting about whose social media we're on. Weh. Like, it's, this is stupid. Anyways, um, I guess who we kind of stop it there, but it's not going to be the end of this Usman Tim situation. More on that in a minute. We move on to Courtney and Colt. They are still together, like we mentioned, living in Florida at her house with her mom and dad. Tim says, listen, I think Usman disrespected Colt. 1,000% he did. He's talking about it like his weight. He's talking about his dick quite a bit. He talks about his dick more than I think Colt talks about his dick. This is ridiculous. Like it's constant. So seriously, it's like when, what's her name again? Jess? When she's like, morning, my dick. Afternoon, my dick. Like, Usman is so up his dick. Like, he won't stop talking about it. Um, so Usman says, no, I didn't. Bitch, roll the tapes. Yes, you did. But again, first of all, A, he's lying. I swear to God, it must be like just something in the water that Nigerian men lie. It really must be something in the water. And I'm not saying that because like I'm just stereotyping. I've dated plenty of Nigerians in my day and we've seen them on these shows. Every one of them lies. Every single one of them lies. What is wrong with you? Anyways, he's lying or he's really truly believing the bullshit that he's spewing out of his mouth. Honestly, I think it's the latter. I think he really believes himself. Anyway, so he is kind of smiling when he says it, so maybe he is lying and knowingly. Anyway, we roll the clip because hello, you're being recorded, and where he basically says, I'm more of a man and all of this, right? So Tim basically says, like, you said you're more man, you attacked his weight. And again, we talked about this when we saw that scene and how angry that made me because I'm like, when you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. As bigger people, it's like we get told, you know, we're fat, we're this, stop eating, stop doing that. And it's like, but you don't see the progress that we made prior to this. As we see with Colt, like he lost a lot of weight from when we first met him. So like And obviously, he's been through the ringer between his injuring his leg and then now re-injuring his leg and having to go through surgery and all of that. Like, he's gone through it, but, it's just it is bullshit when you see someone like him come at someone like Colt. It's not like, Usman, you're a goddamn prize, because 'cause you're not. Yeah, sure, you may not be, overweight or whatever, but you're no prize. I don't find Usman at all attractive. I at all. I don't think his dick's as big as he wants the world to think it is. I think he thinks that, I'm Nigerian, so my dick is naturally big. Actually, look at the average for Nigerian men or Nigeria in general. Well, obviously, men, you know what I mean. For Nigeria, it's actually not that big. It's actually not that big. The average dick size for men isn't it like 4 to 5 inches? So, calm down, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Colt says, I'm more concerned about you wanting to know about my dick. Good morning, my dick. Like I said, he's talking about it more than Colt is. Usman says, Tim, why are you getting involved? Why are you getting involved? Like, I don't need to apologize to you. I only need to apologize to him. Like, he's just going off. Then, then, then the whole situation, what's about to happen. He calls Tim a female, and Tim is like, JWowws the screen. And if you don't understand, type in JWow and backhand, and you're going to see the backhand seen around the world for the past 15 years. Then again, you can also head on over to my Patreon where I covered it in the first season. But yeah, in case you don't know, JWoww in the first season literally hayas Mike's face, does his crazy backhand, and just hits him. She makes contact. It is an incredible thing, a scene that's gone down in history. This is basically what Tim did to the screen, mind you. And he just backhands it and he's like, shut up, Usman. Like he's over it. And you know what? Good for him. Because actually, you know what? Tim got just a little bit more attractive to me in that moment. It's kind of like the Grinch. The heart grew about 3 times the size that day. Kind of like that. Anyway, but even though he's hit the screen and Usman's down, this was hilarious. Um, we still have Usman just going. He is gone. He is Usman down. And all you hear is Usman just yapping away, discussing at Tim. It is the most funniest thing I have ever seen. Anyway, Tim says, Colt's smart. He makes video games. He probably gets more pussy than you ever would, Usman. And you know what? I don't think he's wrong. I kind of agree. I do think Colt probably gets more pussy than maybe almost anyone on the goddamn stage. How? I don't know, but he does. Maybe not Rob. Maybe not Rob, but everybody else. And he's like, you date seniors, bro. Shit. First of all, let's not be calling Kimbali a senior. That's mean. Um, BGL, meh. She looked like a senior. Got those cigarettes. Anyways, Courtney says, do you forgive him saying this to Colt? Colt basically says, like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I honestly think Tim cares more than I do, and I appreciate that. Um, I think it's not even so much that he forgives him or he doesn't forgive him. He doesn't care enough to even give it the time of day. And I can commend that. So then Courtney's like, okay, so Usman, sing him a song. No. What's he gonna sing? No. First of all, A, the song will suck. Most of the songs do. Two, I don't want to hear a song from Luzman. Thank you. Anyway, Rob comes in with a joke here and he's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Well, he didn't sing it like Buddy the Elf, but you get the gist. Um, so we kind of turn back over to Courtney and Colt, which is what we were talking about in the first place. They explain like there is trust issues with them. Colt says, I come with trust issues. Bruh, you cheated on Larissa, supposedly. You cheated on Jess, supposedly. You cheated on Vanessa, supposedly. Supposedly you've cheated on every woman that we've seen you with. And you come with trust issues. Cool, cool, cool. Anyway, some girl apparently sent him flowers at the hotel in Mexico after the resort. Some girl he just kind of started talking to. So wait, you randomly start talking to some woman who then you tell, oh yeah, I slipped coming out of a girl's villa at the resort that I was at while filming the show called 90 Day Hunt for Love or 90 Day Hump for Love or 90 Day Fuck Around and Find Out, who knows. And that's what happened. And then I had to go have surgery and I just had surgery and I was discharged and now I'm here. And yeah. And then she just buys you flowers. Did she know your room number? How did she know your room number? I have questions. Anyway, before Mexico, he was also talking to this woman from Brazil that he was actually planning to see after the resort if nothing turned out from that. So he had a backup plan, which I don't hate, but it still makes me feel gross. But Courtney says, like, even though like all of that was happening, he did block everyone. He got a new phone. So he's starting from scratch, trying to do things right. Okay. Okay. Suki then asks, so how's your sex life? Number one, Suki, I didn't ask for that. But you're doing your job. It is what it is. Barbara told you to say this because Barbara knows they ain't fucking. So here's what they say. Things progressed when they were still in Mexico. Usman's like, so how was it? Well, are you asking that because you genuinely care, which no, he doesn't? Or are you asking that because you want to have just another thing you can say about Colt? That not only does he have a small penis, but he's bad in bed. You know what I mean? So one of them says, it was great. And Usman's like, he like sigh. And Courtney, when it's before that, Colt is kind of like trying to explain diplomatically how things kind of progressed. Courtney's like, I feel like you're giving too much information. I feel like you just give them the cliff notes. Okay, so he went down on me. How was that the cliff notes? How is that less detail than what he was saying? What the fuck? Anyway, he went down on her, but they have not been able to have sex. Now, we can put two and two together and realize that the reason that they have not had sex is because he's still healing. He's on a lot of medications. And he says, yeah, I'm on painkillers. I'm on muscle relaxers. I mean, I feel like the muscle relaxer is enough. Is just going to keep things not rising. You know what I mean? I mean, the penis is a muscle. You know what I mean? And if he's on muscle relaxers, well, then the muscle is going to be unmuscly. Yeah, sure. Anyways, so it's actually not a muscle, but I don't even know. Who cares? I don't have a penis. But yeah, it's just, it makes sense. But she does question if he is attracted to her. He basically, she says, these are her words, says he has erectile dysfunction. Colt's like, did we have to use the ED? Like, did we have to go there? Chantel, coming in as a nurse, says it's probably just medication induced. kind of once he gets everything kind of situated, gets off the meds, or at least maybe even just lowers the dosages that he's taking, it will probably make a difference. He'll be ready to go. So we move Usman back over to Tim because they actually put Usman on the end away from Tim, and then they bring him back over to Tim, and he's like, "Don't bring me back to Tim. Don't bring me back to Tim." He brings him back to Tim. Everything's gonna be fine. He says to Courtney, um, to Tim says to Courtney, "I just want to say this. I feel like maybe this could help you guys realize, how difficult it can be. I broke my dick with Veronica." Whoa, what? He broke his dick, which, you know what? It's a thing. It happens. I'm bringing you into my life here. Might need to put this on the Patreon. This is going to be on the Patreon. I didn't say that before, but we're saying it now. And maybe I'll say in the beginning, saying there's a story that yeah. Um, anyways, yeah, but, this will be on the Patreon because this is deep into my world here. Um, and, so yeah, like Tim was kind of explaining, like, you know, it was painful. And they were like, "How did you break your dick, Tim?" Like, that's the moral of the story here. He's basically trying to say, like, "I was scared to have sex with Veronica afterwards. We didn't have sex for months, and it nearly almost ended our relationship. But once we were able to get past it, everything was fine until it wasn't." Um, and the only takeaway from all of this was, "How'd you break your dick?" He says, 9 hours of sex. It was on crazy shit. Tim went for 9 hours. Like, I can't picture Tim going for 9 hours. But hey, been there, done that. That's another story. Not gonna tell it today, or maybe ever. So, anyways, we move on to Tiffany. This is gonna be a lot, y'all. We move on to Tiffany. So apparently, her and Rocky, they talk every day, but not as a couple. They are not together. He's actually her trainer, so that's why they talk every day. Um, we had to get into the whole Carlo situation, and she says, Carlo texted her after saying, after the whole thing, saying, you got me real good, middle finger, and like sent a picture to her with him wearing a shirt with Elisa's face on it. Just childish bullshit. Again, I'm going to reiterate, this man is 38 years old, probably 39 now, and acting like a child. Elise says, yeah, so update on me and him. I broke up with him. Good, told you that. She says that he was controlling, and that was part of the reasons why they broke up. So then we bring out the fucker, Carlo, and Chantel boos him, which felt kind of like poetic justice. Because if you remember, Carlo booed Rob when he was walking up to do his thing. And to kind of see um Chantel do it back to Carlo was amazing. Tiffany says, "Listen, if you didn't want me, you should have said so, because I had options." And she did. She had Rocky, she had Jay, kind of, but she had options. Like, she didn't have to settle for Carlo. Elise says, "You had options, but like you attacked me." Actually, let's back up a minute. I disagree with that. I do not think Tiffany attacked her. I She was attacked by like Jen, Tim, Tiffany. Yes, she was upset, but I don't see her as attacking her. Um, but that's just me. Tiffany says, "Listen, I was shocked. After the camera stopped rolling, he came crying that I wasn't upset enough." Like, I guess, like, after, he broke the news about Elise. Um, Rob says, "The fuck?" Like, and again, Robin Rob, I can't. If you remember from Last Resort's Tell All, he just came in like an asshole. But in this, like, he's actually doing good. He's being an ally. nuts. But he says, "Bro, like, you are the one that messed up, but you wanna be upset that she wasn't upset enough for you? Like, what the hell?" Um, and he said and you said, like, Elise wasn't a woman you take to mom, like, you're full of shit, basically. Then Courtney says, "You weren't exclusive." She says it to Tiffany. "You weren't exclusive. The fuck does that have to do with anything?" And she's like, "It's like he had to give you or or she kinda had to give him permission to have sex with somebody else." No, that's not what she said. And the fact that you took that from what she said means you're missing the point. What I think Tiffany's point is, before I get into what she says here, is I gave you respect enough to tell you what's going on with my connections and all of that, and where you stand and all of that. And putting in the effort into you, being honest with you, doing all of that. The least you could do is do the same for me and keep it 100 with me. And that is what Carlo didn't do. And when Tiffany says, like, I did everything um, to be fair with everybody and be honest with everybody, and I couldn't get that same thing in back, and that is bullshit. And I don't know what Courtney's end goal here is to kind of get like this. The thing is that I don't remember I caught this, but I'll say here, Courtney and Elise kind of say that the biggest shit talkers in the whole like house, quote unquote house, was Tiffany and Tim, which is hilarious to me because maybe they were, maybe we dismissed that or it wasn't edited that way, which I can understand and I can believe. But Courtney, you would take people's information and go and turn around and talk about it with somebody else or with that person and stir the pot. That is shit talking. That is, starting drama unnecessarily, which obviously someone talking shit and spreading rumors and all this is also doing the same thing, but don't be pretending that you're innocent in that because you're not. Anyway, Tiffany says, this bitch is actually stupid. And she says, I was being truthful to everyone and I wasn't getting that in return, like I said. Elise says, he spoke a lot of shit. Let's be the thing. Let's all be mad at Carlo because he's the one that's bullshitted here, not be mad at Tiffany or be mad at Elise or any of that. This guy sucks. Um, so yes, she explains some of the shit that he said. Like he wasn't attracted to Tiffany. It's apparently one of the things that he said. And he sits here, you know, chest out, basically being like, that's not true. Bitch, are you for real? We literally caught you in lies before and you claim those were lies, but it wasn't. Like, this guy's not for real. Um, and he said, that's not true. Then Elise is like, yeah, just like you told her that you fucked a dumb person. He's like, no, I never said that. Whole chest. And Tiffany's like, no, you text me that. And I got the proof. You text me that. So we bring Tiffany's phone out, and he's literally like, I'm just speaking my truth. Bruh, this is when you abort mission, knowing that she most likely has the text messages to prove you said that. And you literally want to sit here being like, I'm just speaking in my truth. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I think he is so narcissistic that he can't even like see how ridiculous this all is. I'm speaking my truth. Like, who gives a fuck about your truth? Tiffany said, this isn't about your truth. It's just the truth, you idiot. Like, I'm speaking my truth. So Tim reads it out loud where he says, I feel like I fucked a dumb person. He literally says it. And Carlos says, I get that you guys are emotional. What the fuck? Repeat. 'Cause I can't. I get that you guys are emotional because women are so emotional. We just cry about everything and getting hurt. Like, it makes us really sad. In the words of Mariah, no, not Mariah Carey, shit, Whitney Houston, I get so emotional, baby. Every time I think of you, ooh, ooh, like, you know what I mean? We get so emotional. Fuck you. We, did Tiffany get emotional? No. Tiffany got even. I am Tiffany. Like, seriously, if I've been hurt by a man, I don't get emotional. I don't cry. Oh my God. Like, he hurt me. No, I get even. Like, I might cry. Yes, of course. I have emotions. I'll cry. But not before I attack. I I attack, get my I get you back in ways you weren't even expecting. Then I cry. But when you hear someone like this, literally deflecting, oh no, it's not me. I'm not the problem. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just you and your stupid emotions, you stupid women. That's what it comes down to. I hate him. Like, I don't understand this idiot of a man, honestly. Um, So just because I said, like, I didn't remember doesn't mean I didn't say it, but that's not what you said 2 seconds ago. You literally denied saying that you weren't attracted to Tiffany, and you denied saying that you fucked a dumb person, meaning Elise. That is not what you said. You said, "I didn't say it." I'm just speaking my truth. Like, that's what you said. But now you wanna turn it around because we have proof that you said it, and you wanna say it, like, "Just because I said I didn't remember, it doesn't mean I didn't say." No, you were with your whole chest saying, "I never said that," which alludes to you remember in your brain not saying it. Not that you didn't remember saying it. Like, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but like, this guy's an idiot. Rob says, "Hey, Cole, just so you're aware, how does it feel to believe him with all of this shit, yet he's talking shit about you behind your back?" Whoa. So he's just an asshole to everybody in his life. Cole says, "Yeah, so it came to my attention that you think I'm a pussy for not standing up for myself with Jen, and that I'm a creep when I drink." All right, is he a creep when he drinks? Like, is he? Like, what does that mean? Anyways, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna give you a reason to talk shit, okay? I'm going to give you a reason to talk some shit. So Tiffany, he did say that you were fat and ugly, and Elise, he did say you were a dumb bitch. Can we punch him in the face? Please. That make me feel better. Like, how dare you call anyone a dumb bitch, first of all, when clearly, what does that make you? If she's a dumb bitch, which I don't think she is, what does that make you? Fucking prize? The king of England? Doesn't make you anything. It makes you the freaking Joker, you joker. He's a joke. And how dare you come for Tiffany saying that she's fat and she's ugly? First of all, Tiffany is beautiful. She's been beautiful from the moment we saw her. Doesn't matter what size she is gorgeous. And for you to come at her about her weight is one of the lowest things a man can actually do. Real men actually don't come for women's weight. So that basically means you're not a real man. You're a joke. You're a joke of a person. Gross. Anyways, um, Suki's like, "Do we have the receipts for this? Like, do we need to see phones?" Yes, we do. So, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Show the receipts. Let's bring it on. So, we bring out phones and we see him saying, "Tiffany has never had a guy like me. You're damn straight because you're shit." Actually, that's not true. She has had a guy like you. Ronald, she fucking married a guy like you. But I feel even Ronald wouldn't attack her for for her weight. Maybe I'm giving him too much, but like I think even he wouldn't go that fucking far. But like she didn't marry a guy like you. She has had a guy like you. A waste of space. She has had a man like you. He goes on to say, um, she was 300 pounds 5 years ago. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Even then, at her, whatever weight she was at, okay? And again, that's her literally opening up to him, saying, yeah, I was like 300 pounds or whatever, whatever, whatever. And like she's opening up to him about things, probably opening up to him about like she was smaller, I believe, when we first met her, and she ended up gaining more weight because of the stress of her fucking marriage. And like she's probably opening up to him about these things and he's throwing it back at her face. But like it's how dare you, really? I don't know what else I could say here. Um Coming at her in that way. But what I'm gonna say is whatever weight this girl has been at, doesn't matter whether it's 300 pounds, 350 pounds, 200 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever it is, I don't care. You're still too good. She's still too good for you. Anyways, Tiffany says, Courtney, say something. Say something now. You got nothing to say, huh? You got nothing to say and I can defend your man? Nothing to say? It's true. Like, she wants to be like, both her and Colt want to say so much shit here and be like, hey, let him speak, let him speak. There's nothing for him to say. There's nothing for him to say. A sorry doesn't mean shit. An explanation, he can fuck off with that. The only thing he could do to make any of this better is to walk up the stage and never show his face on reality television again. That'd be great. So Cole continues on by saying, like, you want to say why I don't want to punch Rob in the face, but you know what I really want to do now is punch you in the face, bro. But everyone's like, no, no, don't do that, don't do that. I actually would pay a lot of money to see that. I am who I am. Anyway, Elise says a month ago, while filming Between the Sheets, her and Tiffany spent 7 hours looking at each other's phones, comparing notes, figuring all that about up. She's like, the shit you said about me, Tiffany and your motherfucking best friend, like he's a horrible person. Colt is like, let him speak. Like I want to hear um from you, Carlo. Listen to this shit. Since your best friend switched on you, bruh, the fuck you say? The only person who switched on anybody in this fucking equation is Carlo. Carlo's the one who switched on Cole. Cole's just responding. Like it's I feel like Courtney has like she pissed me off in this tell all on this is unfortunately. I feel like she's been around Colt too much. Because this kind of shit I expect from Colt. We've seen him act like this in the tell-alls before. And I'm not for it. I'm not for it. Like, this is some bullshit. Anyways, um, luckily Usman says you fucked. You fucked Carl. Like you fucked up. Like, there's nothing you could say. Anyway, Tiffany, are you dating? Are you dating anybody new? What's up with that? She says yes, that she is. And she kind of goes through the situation. She said it was a former relationship that she had ended. She said she was being stubborn, whatever. Her mom actually contacted him because her mom apparently really loves him, and he just showed up at her house one day. She says that he checks all of her boxes, and she's like, I couldn't be happier. So then when we ask, so can we know his name? What's his name? This girl, woo, she literally says, so yeah, so about that, his name is Ronald. Bitch. Listen, listen, I couldn't date a man who had the name of my ex. I couldn't. Any ex, doesn't matter who it is. I couldn't. Even if it was close. If your name's like, I can't say my, I'll bleep it. No, maybe I'll add it to, maybe I'll add it to Patreon, the full name. So the names will be bleeped on the main feed. My ex's name is, for example. And I feel like if your name is, I can't date you. If your name is, I can't date you. If you're, because I came across it once, I can't date you. If your name ends in at all, I can't date you. Like I can't date you because it's just too close to his name. Like I can't. This is not gonna happen. Sorry, but like she's like Ronald. That's fine. When you're how confusing for Carly. What are you gonna do? What you call well, I mean, we'll explain this in a second, but let's pretend he didn't have a nickname. His name was just straight up Ronald, okay? And you're gonna say Ronald's name. First poor little girls be like, Daddy? Like it's that's just weird. Anyways, she explains that we don't call him Ronald. We don't use that name in my house. He's Ronnie. And the next thing that I thought of when she said Ronnie was Ron, stop. That's the next thing that came to my mind. Anyways, not that Ronnie, y'all. Not that Ronnie. Anyways, we're gonna take a break here. We've been talking for almost an hour. We're gonna take a break here and they're taking a break, actually, too. So we're gonna take a break with their break. And when we come back, we will jump in with the rest of the episode. Hi, everyone. So, I have a new product for you to take part in. This is for J Armor wallets. Now, you can get these wallets for a pretty good price. Partially, it seems at this point, partially American made, but they're going to be planning to be completely American made by the year 2027. The fun part is that you can actually see what new wallet styles are going to be coming in 2026. So a little bit about the company. The company was founded by Jake Hernandez, who is also a part of the U.S. Air Force veteran, or he is a U.S. Air Force veteran. So with his business, he is also supporting charities like anti-child labor organizations, veteran support programs, and efforts to rebuild American manufacturing. So this is clearly something that is very important to him, and honestly, really important to me as well. And for going to the link in the show notes, which I will say what that link is in a minute, but going to the link in the show notes not only helps support this podcast, but is also helping to support J Armor as well as helping support the charities that he finds near and dear to him. So if you go to the show notes and you find that link, the link is jarmorwallets.com/reality times 2. So that is j-armorwallets.com/REALITEATIMESTWO. So I hope you go on and support not only me, but as well as this company. Now, that's enough of me. Let's go back to the episode. And I'm back. So before I head into the second part, without going into any details, there could be a little bit of a delay on some episodes. There might not be a lot of video episodes. I don't know. Things are a little bit up in the air right now. I do currently have a parent in the hospital, so I am kind of dealing with that at the moment, but I am finding bits and, time, that I can do these. Um, But because I did start this episode, I do want to finish it. I do need to get more episodes done so that I can do that. But we can at least get this done and we'll go from there. But yeah, there probably will be a delay because I haven't been able to do much notes. This weekend was supposed to go very differently. But unfortunately, life moves different. So I just want to put that out there. Um, but yeah, let's just finish this episode up. Um, Now, I took a break at a point that they were taking a break. So let's kind of see what that break looked like. So Courtney feels so bad for Carlo. Why? And this is the part for me that kind of pissed me off about Courtney. Um, in this because I'm like, why do you feel bad for a person who treated somebody horrifically? Not to somebody, to people, horrifically. He treated Tiffany badly and gaslit her. He treated Elise horribly, who was supposed to be your friend, and gaslit her. So why do you feel bad? Because he was ganged up on? He should have been. Every single person on that stage, yeah, ganged up on him. That's how it should have been. And yeah, like it's just, there's nothing to feel bad about. He made his bed, so he has to lie in it. That's how this works. Anyway, her and Cole talk shit about Tiffany, saying like, oh, she's a bitch, she's this, she's that. And Tiffany, absolutely out of nowhere, comes in and says, hey, Courtney, yeah, if you're going to talk shit, maybe be sneaky about it. She's not saying don't talk shit if you want to. Like, don't do it sneakily. And the thing is, Tiffany, as we can see now, like I said, I don't agree with how Tiffany handled things with Elise. You need to put your anger on Carlo. He's the one who did you wrong. Calling Elise a slut, all of it. Sorry, my voice. Calling Elise a slut, trash, all of this. That's I feel personally attacked myself because it's like, I mean, yes, in my 30s, toned down. I've toned down in the sense that I'm giving all that energy to one person, but I haven't really toned down. I am who I am. But in my 20s, yeah, like I'd have sex with this person, I'd have sex with that person. Like, you're exploring, you're having fun. Don't judge me for the things I've done. And it's Tiffany needs to remember we all make mistakes, including her. So it's just like you can't come at somebody like that. So although I don't agree with the way Tiffany handled things like that, the one thing I will give Tiffany is she talked shit and she owned the shit she talked. She didn't back down from the shit. Courtney needs to come down a couple notches. Because if you're going to talk shit, only do it. And I'm a little bit like that. I will talk the shit and I'll own I talk the shit. I'll own it. I don't care. If I say something, I mean it. So I want to hold on to that. Um, and Courtney is the type of person, I've had friends like this before, who will talk shit but act like they didn't. It's like, no, own your shit. If you're gonna say it, say it. Like, just say it. Um, and that's what I don't particularly like about her. And yeah, and also like be careful what you're saying, especially if you don't want people to hear it. And clearly, you shouldn't want Tiffany to hear it because when Tiffany confronts you, you stop doing it. Or you giggling and being, oh my God. Like, and then you stop saying your shit. Well, you know what I mean? It, although Courtney is entertaining on the shows, and I'm happy for that, the way she handled herself on this tell-all, I'm like, I don't know. Like, did Colt get to her? Because that's something Colt does. But, I don't know. Anyway, we move on to Tim. Now we're back on stage, and we bring Veronica out. So any truth to you guys being swingers? Jesus Christ. Tim says, well, I dabbled. I tried. I admit it. I tried. I wasn't good at it. Veronica not iterates, elaborates by saying, "We went to a club that was strictly for swingers, but we were unsuccessful. We were not good swingers. I have questions. How is one not a good swinger?" That's what I say. How is one not a good swinger? I feel like if you're gonna be a swing, it's just is it just like you find someone and you swing? Like I just it was him. Was Tim the reason? Was Tim just like, "I don't know, I move slow"? Was it Tim? It's just I don't understand how you are bad at swinging, but I digress. I don't know because I never tried. Um, Veronica says, "The reason Jen is mad and talking all her shit, um, is for the reasons that I was saying. That she is upset that he didn't sleep with her. So the reason in her mind that a man wouldn't want to have sex with her is he must be gay. So like that's kind of what it comes down to. And the reason she had to like just say all this other shit that he bought me his dance. He's a swinger. And it's like, okay, but again, if he's a swinger, Jen, wouldn't that not mean then he is not gay? Like, what? But I will stand by whether he's a swinger or was a swinger or he is a voyeur or not, or he's just doing, just being a nice guy. Whatever the case may be. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck that he's swinging or he's a voyeur or he's whatever? Who gives a fuck? She's so judgmental. And I think, honestly, I think partially, she doesn't really care whether he's a swinger or a voyeur or any of these things. I think the bottom line here is he just didn't fuck me, so something's wrong with him. That's all this is. So he says to Jen at this point, "Why are you still telling people I'm gay?" And Jen's like, "Well, I think people just assume." Okay, so here's the thing about the assumption of it all. I think people assume based on how he dresses. Yes, I remember this first season being like, "Hmm, okay." But that's my ignorance. That's the word I was trying to remember last night. Ignorance. That's my ignorance. And it is okay what they call them metrosexuals. But I don't even know if he necessarily labels himself that way, but who cares? He is a straight man who loves his style. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because think of it this way, his style would be just a little bit different. But if you have a man in your life, you probably have a man who cares about his style, whether it's the shoes he buys or the clothes he buys, or in my case, the shoes and the jerseys he buys. It's your man has a style. Now, maybe your man's style is more quote unquote manly, you know, but like, what is quote unquote manly? What is feminine? We have to kind of steer away from these labels because it's like, what if one day I decide I want to dress quote unquote more manly, but I'm straight as a bone? What if my man decides he wants to dress more quote unquote feminine, but he's straight as a bone? My God. So it's like, what does it matter? And I think we have to sway away from that. And I feel like watching Tim throughout his seasons, since we've been watching him since the last 6, 7 years, he's taught us that. I loved him. And I think like he's literally taught us you cannot judge a book by its cover. He has brought you can't judge a book by its cover to life. And yeah, anyway, Courtney, uh, being dumb yet again, says, "Listen, like, I don't think she's lying. Like, you called her a gold digging whore. And she said you were a swinger, so like, that's true. Okay, all right. Okay, can we reboot Courtney, please? Because I want the old Courtney who was like trying to go on dates and Malaysia or where the hell she was, and the man got hit by a car and she didn't get to go another day with him. That's what I want. I want the monkeys coming and grabbing her water bottle or something. Like, that's what I want. I don't like this Courtney because Courtney, please have some common sense. She she exaggerated what he told her. Maybe it's not quote unquote lying, but she's exaggerating it to fit her narrative. She didn't say, "Oh, Tim told me that he dabbled at swinging or he tried swinging." He just actually did it. She didn't give the proper information. She didn't say, "Oh, out of the kindness of his heart, because I've never had a man dance on me before, he bought a dance for me." No, instead, she has to twist it to basically say, "Oh, he has to be gay because he watched another man dance on me." Like, she has changed her shit. And we see how she acted with Cole and Rob. She bounced back and forth with her bullshit, acted like a crazy fucking person. So maybe she doesn't quote unquote lie, but she takes what she has and twists it to fit her narrative. We saw it with Cole when Cole said to Rob, "How about you stop cheating on your wife?" Who the fuck do you think he got that information from? He got it from Jen. So, Courtney, have some common sense, please, because that that is not someone who's quote unquote telling the truth. Jen doesn't know the truth if it slapped her on the face. So, anyways, and the whole thing about the gold digging horror comment, as we will go through in a second, I'm sure I'll be just reiterating everything I just wrote down. But, anyways, Chantal asked a question. Tim answered that Jen is a gold digging whore. Now, do we need to call her a whore? No, maybe not. But maybe we need to, because at the same time, as I've talked about with him constantly calling him gay, like, you're so desperate for Tim's affection in that way that you're going to call him gay because he didn't sleep with you. That's weird. That's weird behavior. So, anywho's, the gold digging part, he's about to prove that in a second. But yeah, based on everything we see with what the receipts that he has from Jen, yeah, she's a gold digger. I'm not saying that she's a gold digger, but she's not going for no broke. I would say it, but I'm not going to. I'm a black person who believes you shouldn't be saying it. I don't care if we take back the word and we don't say the GER and we're saying the GA. I don't care. Anyway, so anyway, um, so she says, "Stripper, shoe, blah, blah, blah." Gloria says, and Tim says, "Chantel about the gold digging whore, like as I said, asked a question and I answered. And you did ask me for money." And Jen, see, this is the thing. This is how we know Jen's a narcissist because Jen thinks she's right. Because I feel like someone who knows that they did it isn't going to say show the receipts. Because we know Carlo, he's a narcissist, but he's aware at the same time that I said the shit that I said. So don't show them receipts. And how he had to twist it and be like, "Well, I'm just speaking my truth, bitch. Shut up about your truth." Anyways, but this bitch literally says, "Show the receipts." Actually, she says show the receipts, but that's her accent, but I thought that was funny. She says show the receipts. She says it. And I'm like, why would you say that? Because he's about to prove you wrong. And he's like, "Okay, where's my phone?" So they get him his phone. He shows Tiffany all of the transactions. Now, unfortunately, we need I wanna do the conversions. Can we get the figures and we could do the conversions, please? I would love that. But anyways, they're all in I can't remember um the what's the word? Words are not coming to me today. Whatever, the type of money. I feel like a dumbass right now. Anyway, I can't it's in her money, but there's 15 transactions. 15. And if I remember correctly, they were only talking for about a year. Like, I think when he went to go see her, it was, like, at the year mark. I think they left on if I remember correctly, it's been so long, that they left on speaking terms, but, like, I don't think it lasted much longer past that, if I remember correctly, all that information. So, yeah, it was a very short amount of time, and he's sending 15 transactions. Jen's like, "Take your transactions and shove it up your ass." Bitch, you can't say, "Show the receipts." Then he shows the receipts, and then you get mad about showing the receipts. You can't do that. It happened. He sent you money. Just own that he sent it to you. Why are you pretending like he did it? Because you're a sneaky ass bitch. Anyway, moving on. He says the issue isn't so much about me sending the money because Colt does say, and I do agree with him. You can't send the money while you're in a relationship with somebody, and then after the relationship, argue about sending the money. Fair. I 100% agree with that as well. You can't. However, as Tim says, that's not the problem I have. I don't have the issue that I sent her the money. I have the issue that she's trying to rewrite history. I treated her well, and she is not acknowledging that I treated her well. Instead, she's acknowledging or more so focusing on the fact that despite the fact that I treated her well, I just didn't fuck her. And now she's saying I'm gay. She's saying this, she's saying that. That's the issue I'm having. Veronica says, if you talk about each other like this, y'all, you care too much. Amen, Veronica. That is true. He agrees. And Jen says, you know what? Let's just move on, bitch. We could have moved on eons ago. Because when y'all had a tell all last together, when y'all both were on single life and we had Jesse as well, Jesse was egging the shit on. You were literally out here with like, hey, let me show you the hottest guy in 90-day history. First of all, we show fucking Jesse. He's the hottest guy. Him? Him. I mean, when I think about the hottest guy in 90-day history, who do I think of? It's gonna be a minute. Um, hmm, where could they? Huh? But not that many. Huh. Okay, wait. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. It's in there. Has to be Alexi. Andre. I'll give it to Rob too. Like, he is a gorgeous man. He's just an asshole. Like, those are the people I think are hot. Jesse? Jesse is, he's, he's not a bad looking guy, but he's so fucked that I can't. I just can't. I can't even acknowledge he's hot. I just, no. Anyways, that's beside the point. It's they were ganging up on him. It was such bullshit. And then you want to say, let's move on? Bitch, get all the way out of here. But yeah, let's move on. She says, whoa, I hope you find someone. Wow. I hope you find someone. That's really nice. Do I think she means it? No. Elise says, he told me that he so sorry, so we switched gears. Forgot to say we switched gears. We started talking about him and Elise because we knew he was kind of into her a little bit, asking her about her body count. Have you had an STD before? We all know that he was doing that, right? And Elise explains, He told me that he was working on asking me out, but he never did. Tim, what's the work out? You don't work anything out. You just say, hey, can I go on a date with you? That's all you do. It's not work it out. You just go, you just ask the person. Maybe you could have saved her a world of hurt. She wouldn't have fun. She wouldn't have that sex with Carla. Like, you know? Veronica says, I figured at your big age, Tim, and he's like, whoa, be careful with the big age, that you would take the risk. What is the worst thing that can happen? She says no, but at least then you know. And I think that's the thing. I think as humans, we are all afraid of rejection. We are. And I get that. But it gets to a point, yeah, where you're kind of at this point. And again, I'm obviously in a relationship. I'm not dating, so I come about things in a very different perspective. Um, but if I were, a man approached me or whatever, if I'm not interested, I may not even message you back, or I might not, whatever. But take the risk. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but I think unfortunately Tim, and I feel like he does say the things that people say about him being gay and all this, that it doesn't bother him. He knows himself. He knows his truth. Carlo, he knows his truth. But I do wonder if it has had an effect on him. Of course, it has. It has to have an effect on him. And I wonder if like he just has to get ahead of it. And I feel bad for him, or if he's always kind of. Well, I mean, I can't say he's always been that way because he met Veronica, and yes, Veronica, she stick handled that and got what she wanted, but she got it. So he was able to get there with her. So I just wonder if maybe the older he's gotten, being in this industry, God, this reality TV world, that maybe it's affected him more than maybe we know. And that's really sad. Um, so first off, so he's at like back up at the big age. Mm, mm. And so he says, Elise, like, would you go date him? Like, would you go on a date if he were to ask? And she says straight up, he has to ask me. And then he'll know the answer. And Tim says, well, like, I would love to. And Veronica being Veronica is like, no, 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 no. Ask her. And she's like, take her hand. He's like, okay, give me your hand. And like she's calling her princess or whatever. But Veronica is like coaching him through this. She's like, tell her what you like about her. Tiffany, do we have your permission as well? Like, Tiffany's all in this too. It's would you, after this is done, have time to maybe like go get something to eat or something? Like it's wow. It was funny. But Elise says yes. This is gonna crash and burn. You wanna know why? Because the fact that Tim got coached like he's two on how to ask someone out on a date. Maybe Elise can look past that. Sorry about that. I had to take a break. Life. Okay. So, but yeah, as I was saying, I feel like is this gonna crash and burn? I don't think it's gonna happen. I think, I mean, yeah, Veronica's gonna kind of like come in and say some stuff to Elise in a second, but I just feel like I don't know. I think women want a man who can take charge, and that's not a hit against him. I think he's capable of doing it. But seeing that, I'm just like, really? That's weird. But anyway, they take a break at this point, and Veronica talks to Elise, and she's like, would you have gone on a date with him if he didn't ask you that way? And Elise says, probably not. No shit. And Veronica says, he is slower. We know that. We've seen it. And Elise is like, you guys had sex though, right? Like, you guys had sex? Because let's be real. Elise likes dick. Same girl, same. She would like to be able to make sure she can have sex with the man she's with. And Veronica says, oh yeah, we had sex a lot. Like a lot. We just heard a story of 9 hours. Nine whole hours. And let's not forget, Veronica was a mama. Good for you, girl. 9 hours and she broke his dick. So we know they were talking. So yeah, she's like, that's not a problem. She's like, I had to jump his bone, sure, but like once I did, I mean, damn, 9 hours, shit. Um, she's like, he'll get there. So we move on now to Jennifer and Cole. Yay! This is kind of end the episode, I believe. So they've had some issues. I wonder why. They're both freaks in bed. That's true. You know she's a crazy bitch, and we know about crazy women. They're great in bed. Apparently, I wouldn't know. I'm not crazy. I got no complaints though. Anyways, so Rob is like, fuck, this face. He's like, damn it. He- but Rob is saying, damn it, because Rob knows a thing or two about her freakiness. We're about to find out in a minute. So Jen says Cole is a closeted freak. When we use the term closeted, for a minute like Cole, um, we know what we're doing. Y'all know what you're doing. Okay. Anyway. Then they're like, tell them, honey, tell us what? Tacos and squirts. What? Now, the squirts, we get that part. We get the part with the squirts. We get that. Now, everyone was kind of saying maybe she liked tacos. Maybe they were eating tacos and then she squirted. Maybe that's. No, y'all. The taco means the vagina. Her taco was squirting. That's what she means. It has nothing to do with the food taco. Nothing to do with the food taco. Her taco was squirting. That's what that means. Do we believe it? Do we believe it? I mean, maybe she's a squirter. That's whatever. I hate this journey for myself right now. But do we think that maybe she just does it? Like it's not like he's necessarily doing it. It's not like this is going on the Patreon. No, I'm not going to put it on the Patreon. I'm not going to say anything. If anyone remembers the craziest thing that has happened to me in one of the Patreon episodes only, you will know what I'm talking about. In that particular case, that didn't just happen. Work was put in. That's what I mean. I'm just like, is it Cole or is it just her? Anyways, let me switch gears because I hate this journey. She apparently never. Oh, sorry, Cole says this. She never went back to Rob after that. Oh shit. Oh, oh, that was wow. Next question. Let's move on because Jen didn't like that. Jen did not like that. She's like, next question. We kind of just talk about like his controlling behavior. Now, do I think Cole is controlling? Yes, to the extent that he wants something so badly, he's gonna fight for it. So I think that's where it comes from. It's not good. Don't do that. But like, yeah, it comes from a desperate spot. I think that's where his controlling comes from, and it's not a good look. So I do think that. But she says like, he was standing outside of my door for like 4 hours and like blah 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 blah. He's like, no 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 no. Let's back up a second. He's like, I didn't stand outside her room at 4 a.m. She lies all the time. Okay, this is supposed to be her girlfriend. And you say she lies all the time. If my man said that to me, yo, he's getting a 1-2 punch in his gut. Like, what are you talking about? Don't say a lie. He's supposed to have my back. Anyway, he tells a story about that they had sex. It was great, fine. He said made love. I couldn't say that, so I said sex. Because ew, how is it making love when you barely know each other? I mean, how, like, I love my boyfriend, but even I don't call it making love. It's sex, y'all. Anyway, um, so he's like, it was so great. I wanted to have that again. So the next day, he's like, trying to have like this romantic setting. He's getting champagne, but he didn't want to store the champagne in Jen's room. It was going to be a surprise. So he stored it in Tiffany's room. And Jen started getting mad about it because Jen is who she is. Let's not forget how she acted with May when they were playing dominoes and Joe got upset. So that's basically that. So then, when she got mad, what did she go do? Play Mario Kart, quote unquote, with Rob. Tiffany says she likes to fuck with people. Jen straight up says, yeah, I do. It's fun. And listen, I liked fucking with people too when I was a teenager and maybe in my early 20s. I also liked fucking with people. You grow the fuck out of that, especially when you have a daughter. This is what you want to portray to your child? Fuck with people? That's okay? I mean, I hope just because she's demonstrating certain things and maybe she shows certain that side to her child, I don't think it doesn't mean that that's going to be her journey in life either. I think she can, either she'll turn out like Jen, which God, we don't need that, or she's going to be like, my mom's a little fucked. Just a little, but we'll see. Um, Tiffany then says, you can't get mad when people call you a liar and a bitch. Like you can't. This is what it is. You are a liar. You are a bitch. And Elise says Robin Cole couldn't talk to anyone else. And um, they couldn't, which is true. Look how she acted with May. Look how she acted when Cole just poured champagne in Tiffany's room. Yeah, no, they couldn't talk to other people. And Jen's like, that's not true. I actually encouraged that they would talk to other people. You dumb bitch. No, you didn't. You literally thought, oh, I can't talk to Rob because he made out with Elise. Like, until you realize Elise was fully out of the picture. Like, this is who you are. And Cole says, encourage is kind of the wrong word there. Rob basically says, she may not have said it, but it was implied. So there you go. Then Cole slips and says that he was in Elise's room the night before. So this is why when we saw Elise and him come together, I'm like, oh, so he's not with Jen anymore. And then to hear he is with Jen, I'm like, oh, she ain't gonna like that because Elise tells Courtney that he was in my room all last night. And you're like, oh wow, okay, what happened? He's clearly not with Jen anymore. And then you're just like, oh. So basically, what he says is that he wants to hang out with everybody in Tiffany's room. But he's like, I got the impression that Tim didn't really want us there. Apparently, Tim wanted to talk to Tiffany alone without everybody else. He's like, there's just certain things you only want to talk to your friend about. Totally get that. Your best friend. I totally understand that. So he just didn't want to have that conversation in front of Elise and Cole. So what ended up happening, or just Cole, I'm not sure if Elise was there. So what ends up happening, he ends up spending time with Elise alone in her room. Y'all, if your plan falls apart as a man in a relationship, like if my man were to say, oh yeah, I was gonna go hang out with everybody, but I ended up hanging out with some girl instead alone in her what? I, squeeze me? I'm I'm gonna I'm gonna wow. The thought is making me mad. The thought is making me mad. Not that he actually did it, but the thought of him actually telling me that is making me upset. So no, that's not happening. I get Jen being upset about that. Jen would have been upset about that in any situation, but they're in a relationship and they've been in this relationship for 7, 8, 9 months or whatever. I would be upset. I would be upset. What are you doing in a woman's room? Are you stupid? What are you doing? If your plans have fallen apart, go to your bed. Go to sleep. If this is like 3 o'clock in the morning, you got a long ass day the next day, go to bed. Like, no, I understand that. Courtney's says it because so here, I missed this. I have to say this part. So when he said I was in Elise's room last night, or something had slipped, Jen's like, "What? What'd you say, Courtney? This is the Courtney I love." Courtney's like, "He was in her room last night." Honey, she heard her, but that heard him. That was funny though. That was funny. He was in his room last night. It's so good. Um, So this is where he explains, yeah, I was going to hang out with Tiffany, but Tim didn't want me there. So I went to Elise, and Elise says, we're like siblings, like nothing happened. I think this is going to be in the next episode, I believe, but Colt literally says, yeah, did you say that about Carlo? Then you fucked him. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, Cole's a great looking guy. Like, he's hot. So it's like, he's our sibling until you fuck him. You know what I mean? And again, I mean, I do think when it comes to Jen, it's about Elise, but I wouldn't necessarily think she's going to do anything. I don't. Or maybe she will. Who knows? But it's, it's just, you just don't put yourself in situations like that. You just don't do it. Jen says, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me with your bad tan. What is this, Jersey Shore? I feel like that's something literally like Snooki would have said to like Angelina back in the day. Don't talk to me with your bad tan. What was this? It was, that was, that was something. And that is the end of the episode. So you'll get this at some point. I don't know when. Don't know if it'll be Monday. Don't know if it'll be Tuesday. Don't even know if it'll be Wednesday, but you will get this episode. You will. Um, and yeah, I'll work on the rest of the episodes. We'll get to it. I was behind. I'll get back to that. It's just everything just kind of fallen off, like I've said, with everything kind of going on in my personal life right now. So, but you'll get to it. Um, anyway, guys, that is it for me. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.